wacky world of MultimediaJay.
The 9 to 5 has been running me into the ground for the last several days, and there is no end in sight. I don't know what that's going to do to the content on this channel, but if you want to play some catch-up, go ahead and play some catch-up. This is my one rest day, and I'll try to relax at least a little. But yeah, it's not a good situation at the 9 to 5. I'm seeing operational problems that I haven't seen in decades now. They're having the same problems my old stomping grounds had 10 years ago. The question is, do they want to solve the problems like my old stomping grounds did? Regardless though, this is my one rest day. So let's take it easy and think about something other than the nonsense at the 9 to 5, and answer a few lingering questions from the construction of Monolith.
Aw, look at all the little computers. They're like a happy little family.
But it's the one up here that I need to answer some questions regarding. First order of business, how are the dust filters doing after this crazy-ass week? They're actually picking up something. That's good. This one can just wipe clean. Now the dust sucker that gives the dust sucker, now the one that gives the dust sucker case its name, comes right out the front. So I didn't even have to unhook the computer. And there's a little bit of stuff, but just wipe that on. Just wipe that on some clothes there, and yeah, the rest of it will come off in the wash. No. This thing actually, I think, is washable, assuming I let it dry like I'm supposed to, and things like that. But the fun part about this case is that unlike the Define R4 and the XL R2, it all comes out the front. I don't have to spin the case around now. So when I get this the way I want it, and it sits where it needs to be for months on end, all I gotta do is just pop the door, pull out the filter from the front. I don't have to actually unhook the computer to get the dust out of it. Hence, Define R5. If Fractal had a Define XL R3 that incorporated this one filter to rule them all in the front, oh great, here comes the humidity. It's drier outside, but I'm gonna dry the house out after this is all done. But if I can get one filter to rule them all in a big tower case, I would actually consider upgrading. But at this point, I'll just stick with the Define R5 as it is. Newegg picked a few one-liners from me and sent them in envelopes, cables that I wanted to answer the remaining questions about the futures of Monolith and Tuxedo. One of them was this thing, the Silverstone 500mm serial ATA, world's thinnest and most low-profile cable. SATA. People are mad at me because I'm from New England and I err on the side of the schwas. Park the car at Harvard Yard, SATA, whatever. So this is supposed to be super de-duper low profile. So the question is, will this let me use that last serial ATA port that's underneath the graphics card? We'll have to see just how low profile it is. I hope this works because I paid retail price for this darn cable. So hope you enjoy the markup, Newegg. I'm glad you marked these. Well, no, it wasn't monoprice. So anyways, this should be, yeah, let's see if it fits. If it does, the extra drive can go into Monolith and I can get my data array back for instant backups. Then just have games drive, games SSD, main SSD, and not really worry about drives for, I'll figure something else out for those other bays. Fail.
Epic fail.
The cable that came with the motherboard is lower profile than the low profile cable that sells for a premium on Newegg, but both are still lower than the 90-degree cables from Monoprice. It would have been better if I had just looked for another one of these. Let's see if I can even use this. It is nice and solid on top, but it comes up just a tiny bit higher, like a 32nd of an inch or a millimeter or something like that. It's just above the cable that came with the motherboard. See if the graphics card will go in far enough that I can actually use that cable to, do something with. Somehow, by the grace of whatever, everything still fits. So the purchase was worth it. I just needed another super low profile cable. I kind of bought into some marketing, and it is kind of screwy with the separate connectors, separate conductors, but everything fits. Cable management's still middle of the road, and I had to bust out the Molex to SATA adapter to get SATA to get the drive working, to get the drive plugged in. So the least important drive in the whole system is running off of an adapter. And there it is. The computer is pretty much the way I want it, unless I want to add a sound card to get rid of the hiss that's coming over the HDMI channels. I don't know what the story is with hiss over HDMI. A restart fixes it. It's supposed to be digital, I thought, but we'll play with it later. So SSD, one optical drive left, the array, data and extra, and then the games drive and games SSD, which is exclusively for game installs. Both of those combined can back up to the 1 terabyte Steam drive. And that's basically it. Unless I want to add a sound card to address the hissing that for some strange reason is going on with a digital connection, Monolith is the way I want it. Now, the 9 to 5 is going to run me into the ground for the foreseeable future. I don't know what comes after this, but until next time, this is MultimediaJay signing off. Thanks for stopping by.